Talk. We're talking about your American dream every Sunday noon here on 92.7 FM, AM 1400, The Patriot. And we just had a great conversation, Tina, with Brad Ward.
Absolutely.
Tony Shipp is still in studio with us. Let the folks know you're here. Tony, say hi.
Hello, everybody.
And we asked Linus Thalman from Summit Funding to join us. We're talking about, the mortgage matters side of this. The cash flow, Linus, of people's lives is so important, and you want to make wise decisions.
Of course.
And so I just want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in our market. I know you've been busy all summer.
It's been a busy summer.
Yeah,
we talked about that the last show. The pent up inventory from Frozenomics, as we labeled it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just burst, right? Mm-hmm. So it was a very busy summer, and a lot of homes sold, a lot of activity. A lot of frustrated buyers because the homes were flying off the market so fast that they had to make almost an instant decision.
Yeah, that's frustrating. You need to really think through what you're doing, but then you got to get yourself in a position where you're ready to pull the trigger when the right situation comes along. That's what I want to talk to you about briefly here is this listing situation, right?
Yeah.
For a long time, we had not very many listings on the market. Mm-hmm. The prices were low. People didn't want to sell. I heard the phrase, they were welded into their home.
Right.
They just upside down in their mortgages. They couldn't sell. And yet now we're seeing this inventory start to come back, over the course of this year. Kind of January is a low point. We've seen inventory growing. And finally now, year over year, we're seeing increase in the inventory.
Yes.
Now, that has meant, and Tony, probably you can back me up on this, with the less inventory and the pent-up demand out there, we've seen a real appreciation of prices.
Yeah, prices have gone up.
Way up real fast. In the last 2 years, there's been really high
higher market. Yeah,
the median sales price is really what's increased significantly.
Right. Sure.
But now, as the inventory starts to, get back up, that'll slow, right? I mean, it's classic economics.
It will slow down for a little bit, but I think you're going to see more coming on in the future, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, more people know now that they can sell their house.
More listings coming online,
and people got equity again.
Yes.
That's the point. Now you're in a position to be able to sell your home and get to the next spot you planned on getting to,
Back
8 years ago, right? Well, it's important, though, from the mortgage matters perspective, Linus, to recognize with these higher prices and the fact that the Fed has continued to taper what they're doing with purchasing these assets, right? Mm-hmm. It used to be $85 billion a month were being purchased by the Fed. Yeah. It's all the way down to only $35 billion now. Ooh. Well, it's $50 billion different. I mean,
it's a big difference.
$50 billion here, $50 billion there. Pretty soon it adds up. But the point is, as they taper what they buy, it's going to continue to see, the market get back on its own feet, and these artificially depressed rates will rise. Is that kind of what you're hearing?
Absolutely. And I'll be honest, I'm surprised that rates have held this long. I mean, they have gone up over the last year, and I thought they would already be up in the fives, but everything that we're reading and that we're seeing is projecting them to continue to rise. They're not going to go up 1% overnight, but gradually increasing is obviously... it's a good thing for the economy. You just touched on that.
That's right.
But and then, it cost us more money to borrow as a consumer, right? So there's two sides to that.
Well, let's talk about that side in particular. And you probably do this math in your head because you mortgage guys are good at this. If you had a $200,000 purchase price.
Yes. So, for example, right now a $200,000 mortgage, principal and interest is just going to be over $1,000, okay? So if you
and monthly payment.
Principal and interest monthly payment. Okay. Yes, correct. So let's say that it jumps up a full percent this time next year, and you're going to go up approximately about $120 a month, which, okay, that's a decent amount of money. That's a decent difference. Now start adding that up over a year, $1,500 a year. You have that mortgage for 10 years. Now we're talking $15,000, $45,000 over a 30-year term. It's significant money.
And then that doesn't take into account the very likely,